Welcome back in, guys. This is part 7 of the MCU retrospective. I am Bladen, this is Joe. We have committed ourselves to rewatching the entirety of the MCU in release order, getting ready for Avengers Secret Wars. This is the Thor the Dark World review. We have just completed watching the film. I'm going to hand the mic over to my friend Joe. He's going to give a quick rundown and synopsis of the film, and then we're going to get into the review.
Okay, so, after recovering the Tesseract in the Avengers, and the Bifrost is restored, Thor is tasked with returning the Nine Realms back to order. After Jane Foster's interaction with the Aether, Thor is sent back to Earth to recover her and the Aether. Thor the Dark World premiered at the Odeon Leicester Square in London on October 22nd, 2013, and was released in the United States on November 8th. As part of Phase 2 of the MCU.
Sweet.
So
now, first things first, this is the first film in the MCU released under Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
All the other ones previous to this were released by Paramount
yeah.
and one by Universal.
Yes.
So this is the first Marvel Studios movie made under Marvel Studios.
And the first with 2 end credit scenes.
Yeah, we got 2 end credit scenes. We got the one. Well, wasn't it 3?
No, because it's still part of the same one.
Oh yeah, so we got the one where we see, them give the
collector
the ether, and then we see, Thor returning, and we see the giant ice
troll
monster
giant
things, whatever.
But, yeah, so, hot takes on this movie.
It's better than Ragnarok.
I don't think that's much of a hot take for us, but...
It's a really big hot take for
I know it's
a... Was that going to be both our hot takes on the movie?
No, I wrote something else down because I figured that was what you were going to say.
Alright, so I'll do my hot take. This movie is so much better than Thor Ragnarok. There was only maybe one scene in this movie where I kind of rolled my eyes at the humor in it. And that was when they were on the ship trying to figure out how it worked, and that was pretty much it. The entirety of Thor Ragnarok, I'm just like, oh my god, why?
Just cringing the whole movie.
It's so cringe. The jokes don't land half the time, and it's just too overpacked with humor. But this balances the humor, the darkness, the tone all very well. This movie is better than Thor Ragnarok, is my hot take.
100%. And even that part that you're talking about, it makes more sense for them to be like that because they're going against Asgardians. The Asgardians aren't going to kill them. They're not going to kill the Asgardians. Like, the situation, yeah, it's serious, but the people they're fighting, that part of the situation isn't quite as serious.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. No, my hot take is Sif is much better than Jane. Not even looks wise, but just character wise.
Jane didn't get a lot to do in this movie. Sif got more to do than Jane.
Yeah, but even still, even the first movie and this one together,
yeah.
I would have picked Sif over Jane.
That I said at the beginning of the movie that they should have introduced Beta Ray Bill, and we should have gotten the Beta Ray Bill Sif love story, which is in the comics.
It would have been interesting, but obviously it wouldn't have fit quite as well.
Imagine we got a Beta Ray Bill solo movie in the MCU. That would have been so sick.
That would have been pretty cool. But also, Richard deserved better than Jane.
Justice for my boy Richard.
The other part of my
Justice for my boy
my
Richard.
hot take is that Richard, he deserved better.
Well, I mean, he went out on one date with her. So
he went out on one date, and she walked out on him, and he still called her back
to make sure she was okay.
To make sure she was fine and everything. And it's
I hope Richard ended up getting
much
a good life. Yeah. Little do we know, now Richard's married to a supermodel or something, and they got 4 kids in the MCU.
It would be funny if they did a random throwback.
Yeah, in Avengers Doomsday, we get a glimpse into Richard's life.
Richard's. Oh man, but okay. So, question 1: is it a good movie?
No. It's not a good movie. It's an okay movie, but I would not say it's good. Some of the plot points don't make much sense. It's very oh well, it's happening because it's happening. There's no real like reason for anything that's going on. The whole end fight was just stupid to me. It's like, oh, there's a portal right there, and that's how he survived.
I mean,
like when Thor throws the hammer at Malekith, the portal intercepts it, and then Malekith blasts him, and like, it just didn't make much sense to me.
There's a little bit of silliness to it for sure, but at the same time, like, if you're gonna have a conversion, that's the word they used, was conversion happening, like, obviously things would be going weird, and I mean, there's a couple parts where it's like, oh, that was very convenient timing for that, like the birds disappearing as they're walking out, and then they appear right below them, like, and then they don't fall through the ground that the birds are flying out of a portal of. There's definitely silly things like that, but I think that creative wise, I think it was a pretty good fight.
I thought
the creativity in the fight scene itself was good.
Yeah, and then the whole thing where Loki takes Odin's place, I didn't like that. I mean, it made sense for Loki's character, but it kind of just took all the emotion away from the scene, and it was a very emotional scene too. When Thor's talking to his dad.
Better without the existence of Ragnarok, and I think that should have been the end cutscene or the end credit scene.
Yeah,
it should have been the reveal that Loki was the one who took over the throne. And they could have even done it like he slowly took over the throne, like make it like, oh, suddenly Odin has an advisor, and people are like, oh, well, like, why not? He needs some extra security after everything.
Yeah, it could have been like
and then like it showed, something like that, where he's slowly taking over rather than already taken over before the movie's even over.
Yep, I would have liked it if. We'll wait till the if you wanted to change things.
Yeah. But yeah, no, for me, I think it's pretty good. I mean, when we get to the rankings, I'll definitely be putting it higher than you. I already know, but I think it's a B tier movie personally. But we'll see. We'll see where it ends up. But yeah. So question 2: if you could change things about this, would you? Yes.
Yeah. So
yes, I definitely would.
So there's a couple things I would change. And if it was a perfect world, I would have changed the whole movie, and I'll explain that at the end of what I'm about to say. So, if I wanted to keep the movie the way it is, I would have changed Thor to end up with Sif instead of Jane. I would have made the whole scene where we see Loki change into the guard, because that takes place like in the middle of the movie. I would have had that be the end credit scene where he changes into the guard, he goes back, and then he talks to Odin. And then that's when you see the smile, and then cut it there. So then everything that happened with Odin, like the talking with Thor, that all actually happened, and it was Odin. And then,
but even on that point, like they kind of show that it's not Odin, because as you
the way
pointed
he's sitting,
out, the way he's sitting is definitely like Loki.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have just rather had it be just Odin, and then
no, I get that part, but I'm saying like their build up to it was still
the
good.
build up to it was good.
For me, I think to keep the movie intact, I would have changed probably how much screen time Malekith got. Like, Christopher Eccleston did a fantastic job as Malekith, honestly, and I wish we could have gotten a lot more of him. But it felt like they were trying to build on the relationship between Thor and Loki in this one a lot, maybe even too much. Either that, or they should have made it a longer movie. Because, like, yeah, you should be building the relationship between Thor and Loki up, because this is obviously second movie after the first Avengers, so like you have that animosity between them, and personally I think Frigga's death is perfect way to build the relationship between them after New York and everything.
And since I already saw this movie, like the scene where Odin is like walking and he like touches Frigga's face and he's like, even after all I survived, my wife still worries for me, and I'm like, oh, she's about to die.
Yeah. No, they did really good with her death in this movie. Probably what makes me like this movie so much is her death and like the impact that's felt through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
Loki,
a lot of really
Loki
good
tears up
parts
his
because of
room
it.
or his cell, and then we see Thor trying to like keep his anger at check.
Yeah.
Now, I have a rewrite for this movie. And have you ever seen the old Thor animated movie where I think it's called The Mighty Thor or something?
I've seen it once,
and it's
but
got
it was a while
Thor
ago.
and Loki as like teenagers and
Yeah.
So I would have
saw
had
it
it
forever
follow
ago.
a more similar storyline to that, not in like Thor being teenagers, but
Yeah,
the whole
but-
thing at the end of that is like Malekith works for Odin or works with Odin, and he steals the ice.
Oh, the frost, whatever.
Yeah, the box.
Yeah, the ice box.
Yeah.
He's stealing the fridge.
And that's what they did in Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes too.
Yeah.
And I would have much rather had it be like he puts an eternal winter, which is actually what the event's called. He puts an eternal winter over over Earth instead of what they did with this, with like the ether. It ties in better with the MCU because of the ether being revealed to be an Infinity Stone and everything, but it would have made it a better movie in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that would have been a pretty good way to rewrite it. And maybe you could have even done it that using the ether, because it is the reality stone.
Exactly. Yeah.
He could be using that to make the eternal winter rather than using the frost giants technology, because like it would have made a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
And
I feel
been
like if
accurate.
they didn't use it in the last movie and just set it up, it would have been cool to see it paid off in this movie.
Yeah. But I like this movie, and again, it feels like a lot of this movie is the emotional beats that should be there, kind of thing. And I'm trying not to talk about Ragnarok too much, because every time I see this movie, I feel like I hate Ragnarok more. And it's like, it could have been a great movie with Ragnarok, but so, do you like when this was released, timeline-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't see anywhere else where it would be able to fit
it
in.
really wouldn't have worked. I mean, if you really wanted to be weird about it, you could be like, oh, we put Thor after Captain America, like, but other than that, no. This one should be this spot. CGI.
The CGI looked really. All the Thor movies look good. Even I don't like what they show in Ragnarok, but even Ragnarok CGI is good.
Still good.
I think it starts falling off around Love and Thunder, which we'll get to.
Yeah, and we'll get to that one eventually.
I think Love and Thunder is because they put so much budget into gore, they didn't have much to do with anything else. But
well, I mean, when we get to Love and Thunder, the final fight scene cost them like 25% of their budget, because they had to film it in so many different ways at such a high frame rate so they could do certain things, and it's like, really? But yeah, no, timeline wise, pretty good. It feels pretty fresh. I think if they had moved Iron Man 3 like past Captain America, I think this would have been a really good one to come right off of Avengers on.
It could have been, but I'm also happy we got the little break, because I don't think I could have gone from, because
it was Thor,
Captain America,
Avengers,
and then Avengers, and then
Iron Man 3.
So I'm glad we got the little separation in between each, because we got Loki as the main villain, and then we got Captain America, and then we got Loki as the main villain with Avengers, and then we got Iron Man, and then we got Loki as like not the main villain, but he's like.
He's setting himself up to try and be the
So we get Loki as like one of the main players 3 times in a row. Would have been like
it would have been pretty rough.
And especially with what we were talking about when we said we would have moved Thor or Iron Man 3 back to right before Avengers, and then moving Thor a little closer. It would have just been oversaturation. And I do think now the MCU has gotten a little oversaturated by Loki.
Yes, for sure.
He's become like the 3rd main character of the MCU, and I don't like that.
Yeah, one of the big 3s, which he shouldn't be, because he's usually the villain, and doesn't really do things for the heroes in the comics, but he will save the world for himself, kind of thing. But yeah, no, the CGI, which is the question we were on.
Oh yeah, yeah, the CGI was good.
Yeah, no, I love the sets in Thor: The Dark World. I think out of a lot of the Avengers movies, like overall, I think the Dark World has some of the best set pieces.
Oh yeah,
And-
with the different planets.
Yeah, Asgard looks fantastic when you have
We go
Odin
back
and
to,
Thor talking. Like
we go back to the ice planet for a quick second. That looks
Yeah.
good. Asgard always looks good.
yeah, no, Asgard has always looked good, and I think this is where it stands out the most to me.
Yeah, because we get to see a lot of it. We get like a lot of panning shots of Asgard. We go through like a lot of the
You've
scenery.
got the ship battle over Asgard, which gives you a lot more to view and everything, and then the escape from Asgard, which is good.
You just decapitated your grandfather.
You just decapitated your grandfather. But yeah, no, CGI was great, and I'm sure a lot of it was like similar to Lord of the Rings, where you have miniatures plus CGI plus green screen plus like practical sets, and it looks really good, and I'm proud of this one for it. But character wise, you think the characters are consistent?
Yeah, I'd say all the characters are consistent.
You got Eric Selvig becoming more and more crazy because of his brain control with Loki and Avengers. You got Jane Foster. Really didn't do much in this movie, but that's not completely inconsistent with her character.
Yeah. And then we don't see her again till Love and Thunder.
Yep. And then
Do they even explain why Jane and Thor, like...
They have, like, a throwaway line in Ragnarok, I think, where he's like, oh, me and Jane are taking a break.
Oh,
okay. Which, it shouldn't have been a throwaway line. It should have been the actual plot to the movie, considering everything that happens in this movie.
And the movie before that.
And the movie before that.
Like, both of these movies are like a love story for Thor and Jane. And then in the third Thor movie, Jane's not even in it.
She's mentioned once. And it's like, oh, okay.
Like, that's the whole point of the first movie, was to set up their relationship. And I think Jane was a lot better in the first Thor.
Oh, yeah, she definitely was, though.
Mainly because she wasn't, like, a damsel in distress the whole time. Like, this whole time, she's just, like...
Well, I mean, understandably so. She's trying to survive an Infinity Stone inside of her.
I mean, yeah, but it's also, like, why are you so dramatic about it? Like, she literally passes out on the ship, and Loki's like, what, is she dead? And then Thor's like, Jane! And then she's like, I'm fine. I'm like, what, are you sleepy?
Like, what?
What was that?
Yeah, but the one thing that I did want to touch on is the Aether is the only Infinity Stone that is created by someone and not just from the start of the universe. Because when Odin's talking about Malekith and the Dark Elves, he's like, they created the Aether. And he was like, its power rivaled those of stones, kind of thing. And he's like, this one is fluid because of that kind of thing.
I thought it was they harnessed, like, the energy from the Reality Stone and converted that into the ether or something like that.
Maybe, but...
Because that wouldn't make sense. Because we also...
I guess if they... I mean, maybe I completely am misremembering that part. Because it felt like he was saying that the Dark Elves themselves managed to make the Reality Stone.
That would be weird.
It would be weird, but I think it would be cool. And it would have also given, like, a lot more pressure for Odin's father to wipe out the Dark Elves, which would also give credence to everything else that they talk about, where they're like, yeah, no, the Dark Elves are literally the nighttime nightmare stories for children, stuff like that. Like, there's a lot in there that...
Well, I also think that... Yeah, I think it's more likely that they harness the energy of it, because you also see that with a lot of other things, like the Tesseract.
Yeah.
It's just the Infinity Stone harnessed into a different thing.
Yeah,
with Loki's scepter, it's the Mind Stone harnessed into the scepter. The Ether was just the Reality Stone, which was, like, turned into this thing. What else was it? With the Power Stone, or
yeah, the Power Stone's
you see
already
it.
just
You see it in the
regular. It's
no,
in
you
the
see
hammer,
it. Yeah, you
but-
see it in the hammer. And the who was it?
Which stone are
From the Eternals, the
Arishan?
Celestials.
Oh, the Celestial.
Yeah, a
I thought you were
Celestial-
trying to think of the specific Celestial.
No,
thing.
a Celestial was using the hammer,
Yeah.
or the Power Stone in his hammer. And then what other Infinity Stones were there? And then we even see like the Mind Stone be taken out of Loki's scepter and be used to power Vision.
Yeah.
So
I guess in a way it would be, and see that's one of the only. Well, I mean we'll get to it, but it's one of the things that does frustrate me about Infinity War is they completely gloss over Thanos getting the Reality Stone, and it's like yeah he's already got it, and it's like but how did he get it from a liquid to a stone? Like
I think what might have happened is because you see when Thor electrocutes the thing.
yeah, it becomes solid,
and it becomes like solid, like sand turned into glass.
Yeah,
and it like rises up, and that goes in him. So maybe it already is like the stone from Thor's lightning.
I guess.
Or maybe what
solidify
happened
it, but-
was because when you see like Malekith like using it, it's different from what Jane did. Because when Jane used it, it was like red emitting. But with Malekith, I didn't see any red. I just saw straight black tendrils.
It's darkness because.
So maybe
the
what
way he's
happened
using
was
it.
when Thor electrocuted it, he got rid of whatever they did to the Reality Stone, so now it's back to just the stone, and Malekith just used the stone to, like...
Maybe. But, either way, I don't hate this movie.
No, I don't hate it either.
Yeah.
It definitely gets way too much hate, especially for how much Love and Thunder,
For
Ragnarok is praised.
Getting loved on for no reason. End credit scenes.
They were alright.
Yeah, no, we had...
Not much happened in it.
Yeah, not much happened, but the Collector gets brought in, which kind of leads into Guardians of the Galaxy. And
Yeah, which means that... When did Guardians start filming? It must have been around this time.
Yeah, it was probably close to the end of filming this. That's probably why it's an end scene. But yeah, and then you have technically the second end credit scene is completely useless because the Frost Giant thing
Never back.
shows up again, and
I thought what was
Jane disappears until Love and Thunder. So
yeah, I thought what was gonna happen was the thing would be like running and then fall into another portal
Yeah,
or something
go through
and
a
go away.
portal.
But it's just jumping around.
It's
still.
just fine. He's
Like,
he's
where-
there.
My headcanon is somehow like swam the Antarctica or something and is
It's
living there
just-
because it's cold.
Just living in the Arctic. That would be interesting if they did bring it back like that, and they were like, "Oh, there's rumors of like expeditions being wiped out by some kind of monster out there." Like that would be a cool way to bring it back. Maybe as one of the TV show episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But
do you want to know one of the things that I hate the most about this? Because Jean doesn't come back. Neither does Sif. Until Love and Thunder, where she's killed. She doesn't even show up in Ragnarok.
She has a couple seconds of screen time in Ragnarok, if I'm remembering
Yeah, where she's like training some kids, but she doesn't even fight in the big battle.
Yeah,
Sif
no.
would be out there on the front lines fighting the whole time. They sort of replaced Sif with Valkyrie, which I don't like.
No, and Valkyrie's way worse than Sif. Like, and when we get to Ragnarok, that'll be when I talk about it. But oh my gosh. But yeah, so ranking. What would you rank?
Here,
this
let
movie?
me pull up the
pull
rankings.
up the rankings.
Okay. I would probably put this in at a C.
C. I was thinking mid B.
Mid B. So
Yeah.
what we have in B right now is Thor, Iron Man 3, and Iron Man 2. So do you think it's better or worse than Iron Man 2? Because I would say it's worse than Iron Man 2. That's why I put it in a C.
See, I think I put this one right above Iron Man 2. Like, my personal feelings is that, well, one, it gets way too much hate. And two, I think the story beats that it wants to hit and needs to hit are hit. Even though some of the stuff doesn't make sense.
I'll put it up in the B, but I'm not going to put it above Iron Man 2.
Okay.
So...
As long as it's in B, because it's definitely like a middle movie. Like...
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. It
So-
definitely deserves to be in the B ranking.
So our current rankings look like Captain America: First Avenger, the Avengers, Iron Man, Thor, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, Thor: The Dark World, and the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that seems pretty fair for that. But yeah, no, I think B is perfect spot for this one because like the story's good, CGI is fantastic. Like the characters are still consistent. Like it's definitely middle of the road.
I would say so.
It's not C, even if it's not a high B. But yeah.
I was just doing that because I thought it was better than the Incredible Hulk, but worse than Iron Man 2, so I just kind of threw it down there.
Yeah,
and see.
but it's definitely a middle movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thoughts. I like the start of this movie where it's Odin's father
the big
versus
war.
the
I would have
Dark
loved to
Elves.
just see that movie.
That would have been a really cool
like
movie.
a giant mystical war movie between the Dark Elves and the Asgardians.
It has
Would've
a
been
lot
sick.
of Lord of the Rings feel.
Yes, it feels a lot like the beginning of Lord of the Rings, where they're assaulting on Mordor.
The Battle of Armies.
Yeah, when they're assaulting on Mordor, trying to take the ring from Sauron. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a really good one. If they had done maybe an animated movie of that would be really cool. And I don't know why they didn't do any prequels as animated movies for the
I don't
MCU.
know. That would have been cool.
It would have been cool, and then you could be like, yeah, you don't really need to watch the animated ones.
Could.
But if you want more backstory on characters you saw and you liked, you could have it.
Yep.
But
and you actually brought up a very interesting point that ties into Avengers Endgame.
Which one? Because I've already forgot.
The 3 on Asgard.
Oh yeah. The fact that there's two Infinity Stones on Asgard when Rocket and Thor go to get.
There's a line dropped in the movie where who says it?
Black Widow says it, and she's like,
"No, in this movie."
Oh, in this movie, it's at the end. It's in the end credit scene. The big guy is like, "We can't have 2 Infinity Stones staying on Asgard."
Oh yeah, he's like, "We already have the Tesseract on Asgard, so it's not wise to keep 2." Which means that when Rocket and Thor went back to Asgard, they could have also gotten the Tesseract at the same time as getting the Ether, or the Reality Stone. Which means that when they went back to get it from the 2012 in the Avengers, then they wouldn't have been trying to get the Tesseract, which means that they wouldn't have dropped it, and the whole Loki show wouldn't have happened.
Yep. But it was pretty interesting to think of that.
And I guess the reason they didn't do that is maybe because Thor didn't even know or didn't remember that it was on there, and who else would have known? Wouldn't the whole team know that? Because they sent the Tesseract.
Every single person would have been like, yeah, where did the Tesseract go after New York? Oh, it went up to Asgard.
Yeah,
every single Avenger would have known that except Ant-Man.
Yeah, which I reasoned because they didn't want to deal with the Asgard security.
Yeah,
because they didn't want to do all that.
But if you have Thor, which admittedly he's Fat Thor at this point, so... But
I laughed when Thor came back and Darcy's talking to him and he's like, "Oh, look at you still look shredded and all that." And I'm like, not for long.
It's like, you only got like 2 more movies looking like that. But yeah, no. The casting I still think is great, honestly. Like Idris Elba as Heimdall.
Yep.
Probably is the best casting choice for the Thor movies.
Yep. Everyone's well cast. Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi
was the green, the one in the green.
Yeah, he looks
one of the warriors. He looks
like Robin Hood.
Yeah, I literally said while I'm watching this movie, the guy in the green could play a good Oliver Queen, and you were like, "Yeah, he could play a good Green Arrow." And then we were watching credits, and it's like, "That's Zachary Levi. That's Shazam."
Shazam is in Thor.
Yep.
I don't know if it's the same actor in the first one.
It could.
I don't
know.
I'd have to
he
check,
dies in Ragnarok.
Yeah,
so I wonder if it's the same one. If it's Zachary Levi in Ragnarok.
I know.
Too.
I know there's one of the three that gets switched out in Ragnarok, but I can't remember which one it is, and it might have been Zachary Levi because he was probably doing Shazam at that time. But yeah, no, we had Shazam in the MCU. But yeah, no, that was surprising to see, and the Frigga's death scene.
Oh yeah, that one hurt.
That is what Odin's death scene should have been like. And again, the more I watch this movie, the more I hate on Ragnarok, because I'm like, it's almost like 10 minutes long after she dies and they drive off the Dark Elves. And you have like this great soundtrack going. And then you have the
whole funeral.
The funeral scene and like all the deaths that happen in Asgard that day kind of thing. And like it's done so well, and it's like that is what it should have been more like, rather than whatever stupid
Yeah, I agree.
He's gone and now we're fighting, and it's like, what? But Captain America cameo too.
Oh yeah, Loki posing as
pulls out Captain America.
Yep. And then we see Loki turn Thor into Sif. And he's like, I'll still kill you in this form.
It would have been funny if they did like a Throg reference there and had Loki be like, oh, this will be less conspicuous, and he turns him into a frog and is like walking around with him.
Well, then again, that would also be the thing. Can he make you see things, or is he making real physical matter? Because I would have just assumed that he just made like the top half of Thor disappear, and then it just cuts off there. So then when Thor looks down, he sees the top of Sif's head, like where his chest is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it would be weird if Loki could literally just make Thor shorter. Because wouldn't he just like do that?
I mean, yeah.
Like in any fight, he could just be like that and put up a shield in front of him. So I guess it would have to be just illusions.
It would also depend on whether the person he's using it on has magic in them or not, too, though.
How was the guy able to literally break through magic?
Well, the Dark Elves thing is supposed to be dark magic. Like that.
Okay, so they're using dark magic against.
Yeah, that's what turns him into that gigantic brute.
Yeah.
And as you saw, like, he takes the one prisoner and he pushes him against the shield, and the shield's not breaking. It's not until he hits the shield himself that the shield breaks.
Yeah, which I thought the reason he was doing that was to like strain the shield until he punches it. But then once he's out, he just hits the other ones. But I think it was supposed to be more of like he's testing it out, like to see, oh, if I put flesh against this, what's going to happen? Oh, okay.
And so he puts that guy up against it, and he's like, oh, it's just pressing out, because that guy's not dead at that point. And he's like, okay, I can safely hit this.
Do you think if he was dead, he would have just like fallen through it?
I don't know.
It
would have been interesting. Speaking of the brute Dark Elf, he had a gruesome death. Like,
he got absorbed into a black hole.
He had an Adam Cross kind of death. But that scene is
And why do those black hole grenades never come back?
They never come back, and they're so cool. It's like, you would have thought that Thor would have been like, hey.
There was a mention of them in Spider-Man Homecoming with the Vulture. I think they're like, it's like a black hole cannon or something.
Okay.
And they used like, I thought the thing was they used the grenades because, oh no, the ship, when it fell through, it fell into the portal, so it wasn't on Earth. But there was still like...
Yeah, there's still debris and dead Dark Elves everywhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, the black hole grenades, really cool technology, and you never really see
it again.
But yeah, no, that death scene for the brute Dark Elf, and literally him, like, being sucked into himself. Like,
yeah.
Ooh, it was a pretty gruesome death. Yeah, other than that, pretty solid movie.
Yeah, I don't have really anything else to comment on.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like a middle of the...
It's a middle of the road movie.
Of the road movie, which is fine. Like, I'd much rather this than 8 movies that are bad in a row.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take 8 Thor: The Dark Worlds over one Thor: Ragnarok and Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
But yeah, so
yep, that's it. All right, so thanks anybody who's still here and has made it to the end of the video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below.
Anything you were thinking? If we start getting comments, we'll start reading comments out.
Yeah, if you guys want to comment, and we'll answer any questions you might have, or
we'll do comments from like 2 videos back. So if you have a question on this one, don't expect us to answer it for like 2 videos or maybe even 3, depending. Because sometimes we record ahead, sometimes we're right on schedule.
Yeah, You're basically just throwing darts blindfolded to see when these videos are going to get filmed, but yeah. That's all. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one where we review Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Excited for that one.
Mm-hmm.